Hi, welcome to Yo Rabbi. I'm your host, Rabbi Joshua Corber. Last week, I mentioned that Judaism is a very pro-sexual religion, which prompted one of you to ask, so, Rabbi, what's the deal with premarital sex? So the first thing you have to understand is that Jewish law has been evolving for about 4,000 years. So let's start at the very beginning, the book of Leviticus, which says that if a man has consensual sexual relationship with a young woman, he is obligated to marry her, provided her and her family are okay with that. So you see there that premarital sex itself is not really the problem, it just comes with a very heavy set of obligations. Now, until about 100 years ago, societies all over the earth were so traditional and people married so young that premarital sex as an idea didn't really even come up. It only starts to come up in about the 20th century when people start to have something called a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and then it becomes an issue. So sex is a part of adult life and we're not marrying that young anymore, so clearly there's a disconnect between what the tradition says and how our lives are today. Now, nonetheless, Jewish tradition still does frown on premarital sex. But there is, I must say, as a rabbi, a fundamental difference between having sex with just whoever and whenever and having sex with a partner who you trust, who you have a deep emotional and spiritual connection with. The Jewish approach is to make everything in life sacred. And the way you make sex sacred is by restricting that activity to with one person, so that it's an emotional and physical and spiritual connection. That is how we make the sexual into the spiritual, and that is how we make the sexual into the holy. So, to recap, is premarital sex allowed in Judaism? No, not strictly speaking. But when you have one sexual partner who you're committed to in a trusting, loving relationship, that can be very sacred in the Jewish perspective. But casual sex with randoms with no emotional connection whatsoever, that's just pieces of meat, and there's nothing sacred about that. That's that question answered. What's yours going to be?